Micky, they say that mentality is 99% of football very often. And I just wonder, in the situation at the moment and the run you're on, do you almost have to say, well, look, we'll draw a line under that. We're just a point from third. There's still 11 games to go and everything's possible.
Yeah, I think definitely that. And then keeping the players aligned with what we have to do in order to be a good team. So keeping it as simple as that, just telling them, look, just let's be good at the jobs that we have. And if we concentrate on that and be demanding of the people around us, we'll be more than all right. So it's not about creating any big dramas. It's just about us concentrating on what makes us good players and a good team.
Is the biggest challenge almost getting out of a cycle of difficult results and starting to get some momentum? And how do you go about that?
No, because it's just about doing the next thing well and then building from there and trying to get the next result. That's the beauty of football, is you get an opportunity, a fantastic opportunity that on Friday night to get a good result and get going again. That's the beauty of football. So we'll look at that opportunity. We're excited about that opportunity, and we'll try and get that victory that will get us marching again.
I think Peter Clark described some of Northampton anyway as rubbish. How much do you depend on your senior players at times like this to raise their voices in the dressing room? Because you can't be doing all the talking, can you?
Well, we always speak about we. I'll also try and do my part in it all well. Keep trying to do that well. And if I don't think that I've done it well, then try and improve on that. And so it's about, as a collective, is all playing my part. Of course it is. But like I said, you can't make a big drama of it. There's 11 games to go. It is important. The next game's the most important one. Yeah, really disappointed with the results and the goals that we've gave away recently. Really disappointed. But we've just got to move on now. And it's, yeah, I understand that people will be disappointed. We are. But you can only just get going now and look to the next game and try and get a result.
You tried a few different things at Northampton, perhaps with that three-man defence. You moved Josh McPake into the middle as well, and of course you gave Jake Burton a debut too. How did that all go?
Well, we'd had about 4, maybe 5 performances where we'd stuck with the same team, same players, and stuck with the same kind of formation. And you've got a decision to make as a manager. I'll always try and make the right decision and try and get it as right as I possibly can, in order to maybe just try and shake things up a little bit, just to try and get some kind of spark from somewhere, whether that be different personnel or a change in shape. And I would have to put my hand up and say that it never worked. But we never played that for any length of time. But we did, with the right intentions, try to do the right thing, because the previous 4 or 5 games we hadn't got results, so we just tried to shake it up. But I would be big enough to admit that it didn't work the way that we wanted it to work. And then for pretty much the whole of the second half, we went back to what we'd been doing before. We bit of change of personnel again, and it got gone a wee bit, but we gave ourselves too much to do by then. But what I will say is, even the shapes and things, yeah, they have a part to play, but people still have jobs to do, and you still have to do them. You can blame shapes and all the rest of it, but there is a moment where a job's got to get done, and if you don't do it, it doesn't matter what shape that you play. And that's what we did from 2 set plays and a turnover. We didn't get right, which is not like us, but we're to move on and keep it, like I say, the principles and everything, the way we want to play, they'll not change. We've just been speaking to the players about getting good at that again. Let's get good at that. Take your responsibility and getting good at that. Don't worry about anything else. Just concentrate your performance for the team that you've been brought into, the job that you've been brought in to do.
Is it fair to say then for Mansfield that you'll revert to perhaps a more sort of familiar way of setting up?
Well, we've done that for pretty much most or all of the season now. And what we would have to say is for 5 games, it hadn't worked. It hadn't been working. We hadn't been getting the desired results. So you either keep going with that, so you get a decision to make, you keep going with that, and people say, why haven't you changed it? And I would ask myself that question. Why haven't you tried to find a solution to not winning in 4 or 5 games? And I would always be brave enough, without being reckless, to try and find the answers to that, to try and shake that up. So we're still looking to try and sort out these results, and we will try and find it a way. Like I say, it's an important thing that everybody probably knows about me. I would never be reckless with something. I believe that what we're going to do, we had a really good chance of working and getting it right. So we will look at that again, and we'll try and do the same for Friday night. Not be reckless. Try and find the best way possible for us to try and get a big result on Friday night that gives the players the best chance of performing well and doing that.
Yeah, and on the positives, a win on Friday is going to put you into 3rd. You'll just be a point off 2nd, albeit everybody's still got to play on Saturday, but that's what a win can do, can't it?
Of course it can. And I spoke to the players this morning. We're only looking now with optimism at the next game. We're looking at what it can bring. We're not looking at it negatively. We look at the opportunity to go out there and gain a massive 3 points to put us 3rd. Massive opportunity to play on a Friday night at Tranmere. So it's only positives for us and what we can achieve out of a game on Friday night. So that's all we're looking at now. And we're looking to go and try and pull that off on Friday.
Just on Mansfield, Nigel Clough's taken them on a decent run of late, hasn't he?
Yeah, there's a lot of teams on good form at the minute. As happens at this stage of the season, we just have to concentrate with our own stuff and get our own stuff right. And we're absolutely convinced that we do that, we'll cause them many, many problems.
And you've alluded to it already, but Friday night at Prenton Park, I mean, that could be worth a point in itself, couldn't it?
Well, it's only to be, everything's only to be looked forward to now. Big game Friday night. I've always said, if I can, as long as I'm the manager here at Tranmere and I can always give the fans big games with something to play for, then that's a place where I would always want to be. And Friday night, with 11 games to go, we're still doing that. So everything to smile about, everything to be excited about. Let's go there positively and try and get a really good performance, which will give us a good chance of picking up a valuable 3 points.
Thanks, Micky. And just finally, any news on the injury front?
No, James, just the same. But Galazzo now has had a couple of weeks training in a good half at Northampton, so he will move in. He was now been selected from the start. He wasn't ready yet, and apart from that, no, we're okay to go.
Great. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Cheers, James.
Hi, Micky. How you doing?
Hello, Anne.
Kurt, is there any chance of a more specific update on Jay Spearing and how he's doing?
Yeah, he's not training me yet, but he's running on the grass. Probably looking at stepping that up next week. And he would be looking at probably, if he can get a good week's training in with the group, looking like he can come into the squad for next weekend.
Whilst he's been out, how important has he still been to the squad? Because Josh McPaker's just told us how important the experienced heads in the dressing room are. And he mentioned Spearing there. Does Spearing still have a contribution to the squad whilst he's injured?
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody has. You have to. We're a team. So we have to do what we can to support the players that are playing. And we all try and do that. And yeah, Jay is excellent at that. He's a good guy. He wants his team to do well. And he plays his part even when he's not in the team. So he's great to have about.
And how is that atmosphere in the dressing room at the minute after the poor form of results?
Listen, I'd be wrong to say they're fine, because that wouldn't give the right message. They're disappointed that we haven't been getting results. But we focus on what's important. We have to be able to come away and only look forward with optimism now and belief, and understand that if we get what we are good at right, we're a match for them in this division. So we just have to concentrate on doing that now. There's no big dramas. We wouldn't look at it any differently than that. and we're now looking forward to the opportunity of getting a massive result on Friday, and that's all we're thinking about.
How hard is it to keep that confidence? Because I can't imagine that it would be very easy to sort of stick to your principles when things aren't going your way.
No, it is. That's what you've got to do. That's what principles are for. They're there for you, that when things become a bit hectic or not going your way, you can rely on them, and you understand that that's all you've got to do or concentrate on being good at in periods of not so good times. If the principles need change, we would change them, but we know that when we get them right, we're a match for anybody. So what it's about is quite simply getting back on being good at all the things that make us a good team, and you doing what you do for the team on tomorrow night and giving us a good chance of getting a result.
And does that help the squad when you think that if you get those principles correct in the game, then you have a fundamental chance of going in and winning?
100%. That's what teams have to do. Teams have to have a way of playing that I know what you're going to do and you know what I'm trying to achieve, and then we can be a team. It's no singles where you're just thinking about what you can do yourself. It's a team, and them as a team and the units that they work on, we absolutely know what we should be doing with and without the ball, and pretty much most eventualities now, because we're into March now. So we know that, we understand that, but what's important is we concentrate on having the right attitude and the right mentality and all the kind of words, and make sure that we do our jobs well.
And the last few weeks, it's been a lot of travel away from home. Back at Prenton Park tomorrow, how important is it going to be actually being at Prenton Park? Well,
we always enjoy playing at home. We've been doing well at home. We know that we're a, like I say, we're a big force at home. We're a big backing. We know that we're a formidable opponent, so we'll look forward to that on Friday night. It's always special Friday night under the lights at Prenton Park. So we're excited about that. We genuinely are, and we're looking forward to, as I say, the opportunity to get a more positive result.
And you've mentioned the word opportunity plenty of times in the last 20 or so minutes. How important is it to capitalise on those opportunities that you get?
You've got to. That's what football's all about. You've got to take the opportunities, and you have to make sure that you take them and they don't run out. That's what football's all about, because at the end of the season, if you take your opportunities, you'll be successful. So we have to concentrate on the next one, and the next one's tomorrow night.